Raw Comedy Podcast.
Welcome to the Raw Comedy Podcast. Brought to you by Bangkok's weekly open mic and home for stand-up comedy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Chris Raufeisen here with the Raw Comedy Gang. To my left, the co-founder and ho-pounder, Justin St. Denis.
That's right.
To my right, the man, the myth, the eyebrows, Lex Morales.
Eyebrows? That's a thing for me?
The eyebrows. I
I
don't
didn't
know.
know that.
You look like normal eyebrows.
Yeah, it's just his lack of eyebrows. that made me pay
I have no
attention.
eyebrows.
Compared to you, he's got big, sticky eyebrows.
They're nice and thick.
Alright,
A
well,
lot of
thank you.
emotions.
That's a good.
And it's not a thing. I just made it a thing just now, I guess. And of course, the tallest pillar of this podcast, Mr. Ric Diez.
The
on
doorman.
Your, what's on your mind, boys? Yeah. What's on your mind, boys?
Being scared of COVID.
Yeah, dude, it is kind of scary. Like, we were talking before we started recording, but I mean, I guess it bears mentioning that we had it so good here in Thailand for the first little bit. I mean, the first lockdown was a little intense because we didn't know what the fuck was going on. But then we opened up pretty quickly thereafter, and we're back to doing comedy again and whatever.
Right.
We had
cool.
We had just over 1,000 cases all of last year.
Yeah.
And there was only, I think, 16 deaths.
Right, which is like the average death in an afternoon
Yeah.
from roads. No, but I just like road accidents in Thailand.
Motorbike
Like on a
accidents.
weekend, you'll get like 94 deaths, and now the COVID deaths are catching up to the road deaths, and there's fewer people on the road, so that's scary. But what I was getting at though is the first lockdown, and then even the second one that happened like in January, we were all just like, we'll be back to normal in no time, and now this one.
You don't see.
Dude,
yeah,
there's no finish line here. It's getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
And then the worst time when everybody's already like over it.
Yeah.
Like I'm over it, and I'm exhausted and tired of all the not normal shit, and then you're just it's even worse.
It really does. Like we all of us like have lucked out a lot
Super.
compared to other people.
Mhm.
Like imagine what it's like being just a kid in school, or like you're a senior in high school and your prom is fucked up, or you're like in college. Or whatever, any other, or you're old and you're dead, or you're a business owner. Like we've all kind of weathered this pretty, like luckily.
Thank God I was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Thank God I was a scumbag
Whatever.
that didn't do
Like
anything.
I mean, Rick and I,
COVID.
we have office jobs, but
Yeah.
now we work from home. It's all
Right,
good.
right.
You
We
guys
didn't
are.
lose our jobs.
We didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys never had jobs to begin with. But no, but like in our age range, with no kids, no responsibilities, we're kind of fine. But like,
Yeah, man. Imagine having a kid during this time would be
Dude,
worse, man.
Dude, I went to Koh over Songkran, and like 3/4 of the businesses there are just shuttered.
Yeah.
And like all of those people's lives have just been devastated.
On hold. You're just on hold.
Yeah. And like, but okay, with all that being said, our lives pretty much suck right now. This is the coolest thing I've done this week.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Wow, that's pretty
yeah,
I've done cooler things.
like what?
No, not once. Not even pre-COVID.
I've watched TV.
I
I
got
was
water
watching-
from the machine downstairs. That was interesting.
Dude, I haven't had any.
Better than this.
I haven't been in the sun
Mhm.
at all this week, other than to pick up my food panda.
Yeah, I've lost all my tan.
Yeah, dude, you look whiter than I am.
Yeah, I know.
Panda.
Dude, and like, again, like we are lucky with our situations in life.
Yeah, but like Elon Musk has problems, right?
Yeah,
So,
well,
like,
I mean, his stocks are going up.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
rich people, like, our problems are different than everybody else.
Sure.
We still have problems.
Doesn't mean we don't have problems.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm long-winded. I'm just saying, this shit sucks, man. It really does. Like, there's no. I have to do all the annoying parts of life, but I don't get to do any of the good ones.
You know what I think too? This is, and I was talking about it with Brian, but like, it was literally up until like last week. I had this like, I didn't even think about jokes or like doing stand-up. Like, that's how far away
Right,
from
dude.
performing it's been.
Yeah.
That it's not been normal for me. That it's been for like a decade of my life.
Right.
And now it's like I haven't even thought about like when I can get booked on anything or do anything, or it's like, ugh.
it's not foreseeable when we're gonna have the next comedy show, let alone the next good one where the fucking room is packed.
Yeah. Or even be able to go to another country and fucking do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
just go.
All the shit that made life good right before this, none of it is available now.
Yeah,
But at least we speak the language really well.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm fluent in Thai.
no, but about the traveling, the sad part is that we can't see our parents. I mean, it's really sad for my parents.
It's kind of a benefit for you.
But yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to get married. Like I proposed to my girl last July.
That's a
I
good
kind of timed it perfectly
Yeah,
though.
you did.
It's like
Wasn't it during COVID?
it was during it was in July last year, and so I was just like, yeah, but we're gonna have to wait until what's up with COVID.
Pandemic.
But it is gonna I have no idea where this shit is going. So getting married is one thing, but we're gonna want to have kids. But I don't want to have a kid now. That'd be a weird time to do that.
It'd be the perfect time though, because you're at home, you can take care of it. It's easier.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that.
No,
No, but seriously though, and then so if you're pregnant, I don't know if you want to go get vaccinated. That's kind of fucked up. Not that we're in any way qualified to speak on this, but
Right. Dude, should we get vaccinated or not? What's the?
I'll do it
I'm getting vaccinated ASAP.
I'd prefer a better one than the one that you said
the
was here.
Sinovac, and then the AstraZeneca is the other one that's here.
Yeah, AstraZeneca.
But from private hospitals, you can get any of them.
See, doesn't that just feel kind of fishy that there's more than one kind of vaccine? Shouldn't there just be a universal vaccine?
Well, that's
for everybody.
No, because they're all different. They're all
Different
all
companies
They're
making
all
more
no, but
money.
it's not that they're just different companies. They're different types of vaccine.
I mean, I think it's kind of ironic that certain people, I'm not specifically mentioning anybody at this table, has a problem about which chemicals they're going to put in their body right now. I don't know if I'm
Which person? I don't know if you need to be specific about which person.
I don't know.
But it's probably the one who has more chemicals in him than anybody else.
A couple more chemicals can hurt.
Yeah, but it's
What's the?
I mean, who's the chemiest dude at this table? It's Chris.
Many chemists though.
But you're kind of cheminated. No, you do a little.
I mean, it's doctor supervised, but I do take I'm drinking this, so it's chemicals.
What is this fucking elixir?
It's blue est, so fizzy blue Gatorade, I guess. The equivalent.
I'm gonna mix of nicotine, caffeine, modafinil, and THC.
Modafinil.
Same.
You're on the same
I'm
mix.
on the same little cocktail.
You guys are synced up.
I took a little bit more modafinil today. And I'm
A little more Modaf.
A little weird.
I got the nicotine and the alcohol, and that's about it.
Thanks, man.
Lex was talking about comedy and about how we have no idea when we're going to be on stage and how none of us are really. I mean, I'm sure we're all kind of writing bits, but maybe we should go through let's just go Rick. What are you working on now? Do you got a bit that you got
I'm
in mind?
working on a bunch of things that I don't remember, but I know that I'm trying to write more about write something, not more, something about Spain.
Okay.
I have no jokes about
What's
Spanish.
the premise?
The premise is that nobody knows anything about Spain nowadays. It's just some shitty, stupid stereotypes that are outdated for the most part.
Like
what?
If I ask anyone about you, okay, well,
Ask
what do
Lex.
you know about
I
Spain?
dare you to ask me that.
I know you guys.
What do you think of Spanish people?
I know you guys take siestas.
Yeah, so very
Right.
retrograde, discriminatory, racist statement.
That's not, dude. Taking naps is dope. I wish we Canadians had a reputation for taking naps.
Yeah, well, you could say
you're gonna
that.
catch some
Anyway,
dreams.
okay, so
You guys take siestas?
No, anyways.
You don't take
You
naps?
should.
No, I do, but I have.
Oh, you do. Even you specifically do.
I specifically do because I think I have.
And you're the least
narcolepsy, but
nappy
that's
dude.
No, I'm extremely nappy.
I was talking nappy, like Chris's girlfriend.
Okay, but no. Okay, what else? What else? So besides siestas, what else?
Conquistadors, bro.
That's not
Right,
current
so
Spain.
like
What do you know about current
a
Spain?
bloodthirsty.
Spain?
When you say Spain, I think bloodthirsty Christian,
What do you-
violent Christian
Yeah.
conquistador.
Overly sexualized, hairy,
Overly sexualized,
wannabe
very-
Italians,
very
who,
dramatic, and very
are
violent.
really into authoritarianism.
Yeah.
So most of us are
Or
outdated
fascists.
or just
Noises
not
like that.
representative of Spain at all.
So none of us are being serious about any of this. Siestas, I was
And then
serious.
they play the trumpets and
Yeah, my favorite character
everyone's
is Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, right.
And that's
No,
Spanish.
that's more like you people,
Favorite
right?
singing.
Oh my God.
Yo, Shakira's from there.
Shakira's from Spain.
J-Lo is great.
Yo,
You
you know,
guys
you guys have some good rappers too, like Big Pun and Fat Joe. And
You
stuff.
know, there's actual
Tekashi
Spanish rappers that
69.
are really good.
Yeah.
Actually, 69 is great.
Oh yeah, he's
Oh
Spanish
wow,
as well.
he's Spanish.
I think what it is though, Rick.
Pitbull is not Spanish.
No,
Reggaeton is not Spanish.
Yo, dude,
What's
Wasimi Yandel, that shit's pretty good. You know
Pitbull's not-
Pitbull.
What about Daddy Yankee? He's Spanish too.
Yeah.
Gasolina's a fucking hit, bro. That's a fucking.
Yo, no, hey,
that's my favorite song.
yeah, that shit.
All of that is
Yeah.
Latin American.
Well, you see what happened was you guys, what you did,
Well-
you Spaniards,
But
you
everyone-
went and you colonized.
Yes.
And then the colony became way more
Cooler.
interesting and
Just like-
important than you guys,
Yeah.
which is kind of what happened with America too.
Yeah,
So,
kinda.
so you guys don't matter anymore. That's why nobody knows anything
But
about
I think,
it.
but everyone
think-
in Latin America, everyone in Latin America is descended from crazy bloodthirsty conquistadors.
Yeah,
That's what-
at least a little bit.
But that's interesting because that's such a cool, like, dude, the balls they had to go there,
Right.
just penniless men that went to a place and just fucking like, fuck it, this is mine now.
Yeah, I was having a conversation the other day about how some
Sorry.
French.
He
No,
always
Oh my
just trips
God.
out about history.
no, it's okay. Well, some French guy on some boat back in those times was protecting some coffee tree, and he was on the boat, and they were couldn't drink, had nothing to drink, and barely any water. And he was just like sharing his part of the water between him and the tree, and then because then he would have that, he could plant that and then build a business on the other side in America. And there was this Dutch guy who tried to kill the tree like a bunch of times.
Kill the tree.
Yeah, just kill it, just out of like, you will not have it, because I guess I'm Dutch, and I don't want you to be better than me, because Dutch people are the best, which is anyway, that's another
What year was this from?
I don't know, but I don't know, but like at the time when people would be on terrible boats too.
Yeah, 1800s.
Yeah, or
1700s.
Really that.
And I was just like, what kind of like this? But some guys have that foresight, and there's some people that were on those boats thinking, okay, we're gonna go there and I'm gonna make something of myself. My life is terrible. I'm gonna go here.
And plant a fucking coconut tree in
Start a farm
in Indiana or some shit.
Why not?
So
You
what
know,
I want to ask, so Rick, this is your comedy bit?
Well, no, but I mean the topic. Yeah,
Talking
I
about
want to
Spain,
find
well,
out.
he's got a good point. We
No, my point.
must have really
No,
nailed
the
Spain.
bit started with the idea that I find that most Spanish people are misrepresented in the average media. American media.
I feel like-
because we're all supposed to be like, romantic,
Right.
like good dancers,
Like Enrique
alpha male,
Iglesias.
Like,
which is
when you say-
exactly me. It describes me to the T.
Yeah.
And no, it's
Like, I don't know if he's Spanish, but when you say Spain, like, I think like the salt guy. I think that dude is he Spanish?
Salt Bay, no.
He's not Spanish.
Is Enrique Iglesias Spanish?
Are the Kardashians Spanish?
No.
No, they're like Iranian or some shit, aren't they?
Either Armenian,
Armenian.
which is totally crazy.
Not the
I know
same.
this is not exactly funny, but maybe you could do it after this to the answer of what I'm going
Russian
to ask,
version.
which is, I think you need to tell us what is Spain,
Yeah, what is
and make it
interesting?
fun.
Well, it's
But I
also
know
me. That's
What?
my whole point. It's
Oh.
I'm also Spain.
Yeah.
That's my point.
No.
I know.
Dude, we were talking earlier. Your ancestors, like you, basically went to the Americas, and then through
No, his
100
brother. He
no,
would definitely not.
No,
be-
he would have stayed home. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying, your
Your
people,
bloodthirsty
you
religious
went
people.
and made Lex.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This is a bit more interesting than Spain. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You would have fucked a native,
lot of really-
native Boricua. That's what they were called. That was the Indian tribe, the Boricuas. You would have
That's
taken,
where that comes from.
Yeah. And then you would have taken probably a born child and smashed against a rock and feed it as dog
To your
meat.
dog, yeah.
And then made me. And thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah.
Did great.
Hey, without Rick's people, we would.
I think there's definitely something to what you said, and maybe what you're implying, which is that we did colonize that, made it cooler than us.
I like
and then
it.
left.
You know, it's one thing that I think about is something like
What made
my heritage
They made it
is
cooler.
probably more Spanish than Boricua. And it's also probably why I look so white, right?
Yeah.
And you have like Mexicans, they talk about like Mexican, and they are oppressed in America, right? But they're the browner versions of what happened. They were like, there was the Anglo-Saxons who did America, right? And then there was the Spanish who did Mexico.
Right.
They were conquistador right in their faces.
Right, but the thing is, there were
But
so
we didn't-
so
but we
many
didn't-
more people in Central and South America that the genociding and the disease spreading wasn't as effective. So there's been much more mixing of people down there. So that's why,
We didn't mix
and also the sun
America.
and stuff. So that's why people are just browner and like generally.
But isn't it weird how like
I'm just saying like there's a whole bunch of Puerto Ricans who are saying that they're a minority, but they're like the same boat as like an Irish guy who moved, you know, like
True.
you know, who's
Like
been
you,
five
same version of that,
generations in-
you are Puerto Rican,
Yes.
but to any like Asian person or African
You're white.
person, you're just white.
Yeah,
You're like a
Rico.
tanned white guy.
Yeah. That's the first time I've ever been white when I moved here a couple years ago, and it's great.
Yeah, isn't it nice?
It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I love being white. It's great. I voted for Trump. I
Did
mailed
you?
it in. I just mailed
You
it in.
mailed in the
I
ballot?
mailed a postcard. I don't know where to send that shit. I've never voted before, so I just wrote Trump and then mailed it to America.
They probably counted
They
it.
probably
Trump on
they
his
probably counted it. Love these.
So I don't know if you've got anything that you
I
can work
got
with
something.
on the
I got
bit.
something I can. It doesn't matter if it's not solved.
So Lex, you got a bit that you're working on?
I don't know if that's why you guys wrote it down, but YouTube, I'm annoyed when I go, like I used to be able to go down the YouTube hole and just fall into like madness and just like hours of kittens, you know, or like fat girls trying to swing on ropes, like real fun stuff. And now I can't go like 3 or 4. If you just let it play, I'll watch like Good Mythical Morning, which is some bullshit nonsense show, and then all of a sudden it'll be like The Hill Rising will show up, and then all of a sudden Tucker Carlson. Like
Right,
I go
you're
like
like
5
the last
episodes away from Tucker Carlson constantly.
Dude, I keep getting recommended Ben Shapiro videos,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yo, I'm not with this guy.
No, but that's because the algorithm wants to
Get
find
you
out.
out
Yeah,
watch,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only way you can get out of it is by clicking not
Not
interested, because
interested,
it's
right.
pushing
Yeah.
stuff on purpose to make you angry.
But
If
what
you
Lex is saying is
You watch longer.
Yeah, but what Lex is saying is it used to send you on a genuine like rabbit
Yeah.
hole.
Of like the most
Yeah.
odd, weird shit. YouTube
Yeah.
used to be so
Awesome.
fun to just find
So
like,
random.
yeah.
But there's still good content. Yesterday
I
was
watched
good
7
and-
hours of popping dimples, you know, just like.
That wasn't real life.
Next,
That wasn't YouTube. That was
That was just you hanging out with Chris.
You just
Then you finished all the people.
cleaning your back.
Dude, if I knew you could make millions of dollars popping pimples, like when I was like
You'd be
15,
rich.
bro, I'd be fucking
Yeah.
King Pimple, bro.
Dude.
Pimple King, they call me.
That's crazy though that like this podcast gets like maximum 100 views.
Sure, yeah.
Meanwhile, like a big gross
Now.
pimple on the back.
Like, bro,
Hey,
it's
Millions
I
of
can't
views.
I
wait.
typed in raw comedy. and you weren't even on the. This wasn't even on the first 3 or 4 pages. You have to
It'll
do
take a
raw
while.
comedy podcast.
Yeah, the problem is there's a raw comedy in Australia.
No, that's not even that. That didn't even show up.
It didn't?
Yeah.
It literally was just other people who didn't even have a joke about raw. They were just described as raw comedy, which is such a general thing. But that's what's crazy. Is like you could literally say the title of something, and there'll be 70 different options to
Yeah.
watch before.
Mm.
You know.
Because our like SEO game is shitty. I don't know
It's
if
not
that
even-
doesn't
yeah.
apply to YouTube.
But man, it's all, you know, I know they're trying, it's a company and they're trying to make money, but
Yeah.
man, what made it great
well,
is also
Well,
what
it's
that
ads,
is.
dude. Every
what
time I
used to
watch
make it
YouTube-
great is just like it was people creating content, and now most of the content that gets pushed is like corporate
Businesses
entities
with
and
money.
businesses.
But
and
well,
shit.
there is a lot of people making, like we
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to make this, right? So there's people like this who are making it, and it's just like maybe sub professional, right? But it sucks that the corporations.
Totally.
corporations and the fucking ads are getting
Right, the
out of
ads are-
hand
dude,
because
it's
they're just trying to
horrible.
get you to pay for YouTube Premium, which I think Rick you've done, right?
No.
What is it?
I haven't- I
You pay
haven't-
for, you know, they remove the ads.
Yeah, you just get to watch YouTube ad free. That's it.
Bro, it's just like they
Oh,
put
you
an
can
ad.
put an ad blocker on your computer for
Yeah,
free.
but does it work for you?
You know what's like? It's like when it's like
Well,
imagine
no, there's no
imagine you're
65.
trying to watch TV and someone puts their asshole in your face and like we're not.
That's
gonna,
what an ad is.
And we're not gonna move for 5 seconds
Yeah.
and you count.
I'd
down.
actually prefer it if it was an asshole.
They just put a fucking asshole in your face.
What I find double
We're not gonna
annoying.
move
The
for 5
girls'
seconds.
ads?
And then they're like, wait, this is just one of 2, and you have to fucking listen to 5 seconds.
I would
Next
rather
one.
watch either one of you, like all of your assholes, than like that fucking
Someone just sticks their
Lazada
dumb
ad
asshole.
again.
Yeah.
Because here in Thai, you always get the same
It's
shit.
a lot of noise and it's,
It's,
very
it's
loud.
grab
It's
food
like,
and Lazada. And there's that chick ordering the dinosaur outfit for some reason.
I don't
And
get
there's
that.
the slapping noises. You don't get
I
that?
don't even know what I get. I get
I have an ad blocker. I don't watch. I don't see it.
Well,
What's
let me
that?
know what that ad blocker is.
What is ad blocker?
It's for the computer, yeah.
Oh, wait,
It's-
what
it's-
about
it's
on
a
your phone?
extent on the phone.
Because I only.
No, dude, you can't on your phone. There's nothing. I don't think. Maybe. But you
For an
gotta, like,
Android
skip
phone,
ad.
maybe. Or,
And the YouTube app is so shit. Like I'm like, I press an ad or I press skip or I just do something or like something happens like it kind of touches my pocket in a weird way, and then it like fast forwards to like or it goes to a different
it
video.
skips to a different
Dude, it
video,
skips to a
yeah.
different video, and I'm like, I'm trying to get back to the other video, but if I press back, it takes me to like my first search, and
And
just,
then you gotta
just
see the ads again.
reduces everything.
Sorry, if
It's
you
like,
just talking about ads on YouTube. Have you noticed? Have you ever let it play? Like sometimes it'll do. This is why I got ad blocker because I was like
Consecutive
two in a row,
ads.
back to back.
consecutive ads, and
That's
if
the
you
worst.
let the whole one not hit skip, like if you don't skip the ad, if you let that play, I really think like the next time it goes to commercials, it'll be like a 3-minute. I had a 30 or 40-minute commercial once.
I
What?
doubt this is true.
I swear to you, this is why there was a 30,
Or
40
you
minute.
were with that
like an infomercial.
blooding medicine that you're taking.
It was.
and you're
It was like I was like I'm listening to. I was like cleaning up my apartment, and I'm like, this guy, like this commercial is going on. I was like, this isn't what I was listening to. You know. All of a sudden, I was like, this isn't listen. I went. It was like 7 minutes. I've already been into this. I see it says skip ad, and it was like 40. It was like 35 more
I'm sorry,
minutes
but
of
I'm-
an ad.
Really?
I'm shocked.
Yes.
I'm shocked that you're cleaning your apartment. I didn't
Fair.
know.
That's fair.
There should be something that
Oh.
skips ads automatically for you. You know what I mean?
But that's what I think. It's like if
Well,
you
or
watch.
just have the ad blocker.
If you watch
just
some
good.
minute, if they have like 30-second long commercials, and then there's like 3-minute long commercials,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
at least seen 3 minutes. I think I got through a 3-minute commercial, and then they knew.
So it's like this
the
one never watches them.
Yeah.
I put an extension now on
40 minutes though, I don't
Dude, it
believe
was
that.
40 minutes.
Because you can't know what YouTube, how long was the video you're watching? Like 10 hours?
No, it was like an hour-long video. I think it was like maybe it was a Joe Rogan, or it was like it was an hour-long,
Nice long Joe Rogan.
an hour-long podcast.
Because it doesn't make sense to me that the ad would be longer than the actual video.
Yeah, you would think that.
Yeah.
But that's why I
But
also
that's
think that
America,
they know that I didn't skip the ad, so they were like, oh, maybe.
well,
That's like ad money to them. Let's just
Yeah.
throw a sucker, like this
Worse.
guy's sleeping, and let's just throw a 30-minute commercial now. They just got
Like, dude, I was in the shower. I was in the shower.
On the thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I believe that.
I was
fucking over everybody.
Yeah.
I listen to YouTube in the shower, and
Jerk off.
when I'm done watching porn, I'll watch some YouTube. But I'll let it play, and it's like a 20-minute video, and then 4 minutes in, it just goes to an ad.
Yeah,
And it's like, and then I'm stuck, and I'm like stuck, and I'm like, dude, this sucks.
That's how it is.
I gotta listen.
It knows you're in the shower.
And I can't even skip it.
So
Right.
it doesn't give you a
It's
short
so
one.
stupid, dude.
Yeah.
Yo.
It's so fucking annoying.
Yeah, same thing happens when I listen.
Dude, the only thing I listen to on YouTube is like just like history shit, dude. Like you ever watch Kings and Generals, dude?
Dude, you know, yeah,
So-
I listen
so
to that kind of
dope.
shit all the time.
And then there's there's this kid.
Invictus or whatever it is, dope.
That's some pussies.
Epimetheus or whatever
Epimetheus,
that-
dude.
yeah, that shit, I love
He's
that
like,
guy.
dude, he's such a fucking. He's like, well, the thing about the Aryan race, the way they migrated into.
That's not what I was talking about. Your Aryan race video.
Or
He's usually
whatever.
talking about like the Romans or whatever.
Genetics.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he talks about like ancient people and like their.
Yeah, like the
like
Bronze Age
the
collapse.
genetic history. He's like, who were the Orguz Turks in
Yeah, right.
fucking Central Asia or whatever? And it's like these were an interesting genetic, whatever.
Did we solve your YouTube bit?
Did we come close to that?
Did we just go through a
I'll
whole?
listen to it again. I mean, I think you guys just agreed with me, but I don't know if you guys have any angles on or like experiences.
Well, I
or-
think that's a good premise. Is like, man, YouTube used to be fun, and then I don't know if it's like so much of a joke. It's more of like a
Right.
long bit where you're just like,
I gotta put jokes in it.
But maybe-
yeah, for sure. But
Do
it's,
you want to talk about like you want to find an interesting comparison? Like it's similar.
I
to
think you
some
know
of
what.
the
Here's,
stuff.
here's,
I don't know.
here's an interesting angle. I think when you're almost like when you watch YouTube, you're looking for something. It's almost like you're looking for an answer to a question, almost. Maybe that
and you
can be
want it.
it.
well, no, he's talking about he's watching pimple popping videos
Kind
and,
of
and,
fun.
I'm looking-
girls
I'm-
falling and
I'm
whatever.
looking in the fridge to find something entertaining. I want to be something. I want something to pop. I want something to be like this is something.
Ooh,
This is
pop.
I want to go to YouTube and see something that I can never see
Yeah.
anywhere. That's what I want YouTube for.
And it's
I
there.
want-
It's there.
And it is there. That's what's annoying is it's there and they're keeping it from me.
Right.
Keeping
Whereas they
weird
used
shit.
they
I
used
can't
to
even
feed it
search.
to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be able to just, you could be specific and say, like, I want to see, a cat beheaded in Israel. I mean, that's really bizarre, but I'm just saying.
It's
like,
pretty
you
specific.
could,
But you've never seen that before. That's
I bet you there's a dozen of them.
Sure.
I remember one of my
Dude, cat videos are very popular.
Yes.
Yesterday, I searched for Karens getting tasered,
Yes.
and I got compilations. Like people are doing
Oh, that's pretty
compilations
sweet.
of Karens getting tasered.
And if you leave it on
amazing.
autoplay, it's just Karen's getting tasered for hours. That's pretty sweet.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that is good.
Usually,
I see music.
Dude, I
There's a
like-
bunch of them.
But you know what?
I like watching those girls fail.
Yeah, I just type in the word fail.
Or
and
just
I
people
watch.
fail, but
Yeah.
girls fail for. I don't know if it's my sexism.
Because they don't know how to
But
fall.
it's just, yeah, they don't know how to protect themselves. They're
Yeah.
like toddlers. Like
Yeah.
they don't put their hands in front of
Yeah,
their
yeah,
faces because they're not used to falling.
Yeah.
Face planting.
Yeah.
One of my favorite YouTube holes I ever went down because I saw one specific video was chimp uses frog as a flesh.
Oh, dude, I've seen that.
Yeah.
And he's throat fucking that.
You
frog.
say it like
I've
that,
also
but this is
seen
the thing.
that,
See,
actually,
you've
yeah.
only seen one. They're keeping away dozens of them.
Right.
There's a hole. That's what I'm saying. I went down a hole of chimps just taking amphibians and fucking them.
In the faces every time.
Always in the face.
And it makes it goes, the frog is long dead. Have you seen this video?
No.
And it's at a zoo in front, well, I'm talking about the one, but it's at a zoo and there's kids looking and somebody is recording this shit. And the chimp picks up a frog, a live frog, I
Squeezes
presume.
it so the legs
squeezes
kick
it.
out.
So you can see its little legs. And then the chimp is throat fucking this little frog. And the frog is going like, and the frog has been dead for quite some time.
Dies after 3 thrusts.
Yeah. So you're saying there's more?
Oh, multiple. And that's
What
where
way
to
to
go.
go.
Which made me have the thought too. This is why I like it as a comic. Is like I got a bit where it's like I really do think like when we were discovering, like we don't have that discovery phase as much anymore. But when we were just real fucking explorers on Earth, like the first thing you see if you see some weird animal you've never seen before is like,
I'm gonna fuck
is
that
it gonna
thing.
kill me?
Am I about to get laid right now? How is this
I'm
looking?
gonna fuck that thing up.
Yeah, it's in the top 5. That's what I'm saying. Top 5 things. It's like, can it hurt me? Can I eat it?
Is it delicious?
Can I fuck it?
Right. That's number 3.
It really is. It's up there,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I think there's so
The answer
much.
is no, though. I
I
think-
think this is your angle. I think the angle is humans are wired for discovery,
Does it have any-
exploration.
Yeah,
And they've just taken that out of it, so it becomes a more boring experience.
yeah.
Same happens with Netflix and stuff, where you're like, I used to be able to find cool stuff, and now I'm like, what is this? And then I Google how many movies are on Netflix. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know how many
Yeah, you
thousand. There's like 14 to 20,000 movies
Yeah.
on Netflix, and it's just I only get what is going on, like.
Yeah.
Dude, you gotta fucking.
Unless I know the title.
You gotta do research outside of Netflix to figure out what Netflix to watch.
Yeah.
How
Yes.
fucking annoying is that?
That's crazy.
I think I've already ranted about this.
Yeah.
Carry on with fucking animals.
Yeah, no, it's but the discovery and that. I
Well,
thought, man,
it's like everybody probably here uses Spotify, right? But remember when Pandora was a shit? And what was Pandora was
Wow, I
dope? It was
remember
like you would put a song in, and then they would give you songs like that song, so you could discover new music. And Spotify does or YouTube. If you ever do a music play on YouTube,
Sure.
it's shit you've already listened to.
Yeah.
It'll go back to stuff they already know you've listened to.
It'll
It
even
starts out-
play some shit that you already played.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just
and
yesterday.
it removes the red part that says that you already played it.
Yeah. No, that's a big one. And
They
with
don't- they
comedy
like
too,
it.
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It'll be like, well,
Just
fucking,
regurgitating the same
here's
shit.
the shit that you watched already.
Here's who you are according to us.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is who you are. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm
Stay in
kind-
your box. You
But
fucking
most of the
animal.
time I'm going like, yeah, that's pretty accurate, but I've already seen that shit.
Yeah. Show me something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see something like it.
So-
Like it's like the same as when you see you're dating a girl and you see your sisters, and maybe you have already the hottest one, but there's 3 of them. They all
Yeah,
kind
but
of
they're
look
not
like her.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they look like her.
That's something a
it's-
little
yeah.
different. Maybe
It's
they're a little
different.
chunkier.
Yeah.
Maybe they got a
darker
little
hair, a little mole.
Maybe they got a nice little hair with a flip. Maybe they got a little mole here.
Maybe got a little lisp.
I think I'm being pretty specific right now.
No, but you can still go down holes. Like if you have an original thing of for example, if the algorithm kind of knows you, but if someday you decide to search for something totally different,
I'll just throw it off.
because I want to no, it's like today because you hear something from somebody else or a friend or whatever. I want to research about this, and the algorithm doesn't know you. That's when you go down a hole, because it's like now I have a bunch of a new amount of content to show you if you're interested. In this.
Right.
Maybe
And
it
then
always
they-
loops back to Tucker Carlson though.
Yeah, it's always Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro.
You're just like, do we really need frogs getting fucked by by
You're
chimps?
spot on.
We do
Yeah.
need that.
Ben Shapiro's pretty good.
No, that was
That's
Tucker
Tucker
Carlson
Carlson.
there.
Oh, that's
You
that's
answer
a
the
fair
question.
point.
I'm just asking a question.
Ben Shapiro's like,
Well, actually,
well, no, this is absolutely reprehensible. It's like that.
Ben Shapiro
What a
talks
character.
fast, like he's smart,
Talks-
like he's sure. of himself.
He'll bamboozle you because he is quite sure of himself. He does make some good points sometimes, but then he's got this other nonsense.
Yeah.
Dude,
He
like,
wears fabric on his head,
oh, because he's a Jew.
but he has a problem wearing it in front of his face.
Yeah.
You know,
Dude, one like
it's a real fucking problem.
of all the things that could annoy me with Ben Shapiro, I saw one video that really annoyed me. He was talking about Travis Barker, the drummer from Blink-182, who's got tattoos all over his body and shit.
Yeah,
And he was talking about an interview that the drummer had done like before he got famous. And he said, like, I got tattoos because I was like, I want to be in this life. I'm not giving myself any other option. I'm gonna be a musician and I'm gonna make it doing that or fuck everything.
yeah.
And that's what Travis Barker was saying, and Ben Shapiro was shitting on that.
Yeah.
Going like, well, you're just gonna mutilate your body like that, and you're just gonna give yourself, and it's like, yeah, but
He
he
committed-
became one of the most successful drummers of all time.
Yeah.
So what the fuck are you even talking about?
That's what he wanted.
And everybody dresses him. Yeah, dude. He did exactly what everybody does. He just had the balls to do it more.
Mm.
Well, he gave himself no outs, basically.
Yeah, yeah, but then he succeeded at it. If you want to shit on some guy who's in jail and he's got tattoos, I don't know what the point of that would be, but it's like you're.
But you know what? I rarely see a homeless guy all tatted up.
No, because they don't have
I
the.
never,
yeah,
no, because they have to fucking drive. They're like, I better
Yeah.
get my shit together because nobody's gonna hire me. I better fucking this mechanic job better work out. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Or whatever they do.
Right.
But also, by the way, they usually have the coolest jobs. They like honestly, some of the
Dudes with
most talented
tattoos,
people-
yeah.
I don't see them living bad lives. I don't see a homeless
Yeah.
guy that says love hate on his forehead.
No, fuck that.
I
Dude,
mean,
there was a guy.
Face tag Mike Tyson got more famous when he got.
There was a
face
guy
tag.
that I was crowd working at a stage time show back in. He just had what was his tattoo? It was like he was just tatted the fuck up, neck tats, knuckle tats, everything. And on his leg it said,
Was that stage time?
yeah. You might have been there, but it said, "Fuck the real world." And then so I was just crowd working and whatever, and I was like, "Which one of those do you regret the most?" He was jacked. And then I was like, "Fuck the real world." Like, what does that mean? And then he
on the
goes,
Real World.
he goes like, "No, he's like, yeah." He
Yeah.
goes like that MTV show.
Fuck your world.
Yeah, because he got did dirty by MTV.
Yeah.
But no,
he
but he
puts
was
his
saying,
fingers in the peanut butter. Oh, that's
Yeah.
really before you guys. All right, go ahead.
but he was just saying, I was like, "What is the real world?" And he was like, having a 9-to-5 job that everybody fucking just does.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, fuck that, and that's why I got all this shit. And now he's like a Muay Thai instructor.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm like, and he owns his Muay Thai studio and shit. So these people are like the real entrepreneurs that
Yeah,
are,
dude.
not all of them, some of them are douchebags, but like,
But I've seen,
This
a lot,
guy-
I've seen a lot of crazy poor people with tattoos though too.
Yeah, sure.
And a lot of crazy people in general that have crazy tattoos.
yeah. But you know,
Doing
you
what
can-
though? Were they like being poor? I mean, poor, yes.
Just like
But,
just like they walk, like say like I'm on Khao and some crazy guy covered in tats walks by and he's wearing Randy ass.
Do you remember that dude who had the eyeball tattoo on Khao
Yeah, I think I was a maniac, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking.
But was he from
Complete
Thailand?
lunatic.
No, it's
No,
not-
he's
obviously,
he's from America.
obviously he was Australian.
So
So
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
So he's traveling, living life. He's rocking.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was wanted back home.
All right.
All right. So, yo, Chris, do you have a bit that you're working on?
Yeah, I do. I have. I was singing earlier about how like I'm a bad like son and a bad. I'm not a good grandson or brother.
Or just family member in
Right.
general?
And then I'm like, well, actually, I'm not a good anything. Actually,
person.
I'm not even a good person.
Yeah.
Actually. I'm just a bad all around thing.
But it's not like you're
But
a
what-
bad person. You're just not.
Good.
You're not a good family member.
But he's not good at anything either. That's why he's.
Right.
But not being good.
That's not true.
being
Chris
bad.
is good at certain things.
Like what?
Such as.
I wouldn't say like video editing.
You asked
but
him if he had a bit to talk about. It took him 5 sentences. He's not even good at telling us his ideas.
Yeah.
He's a bad person. Chris,
He's
I
a
love
bad-
you, but you're just.
I know.
Yo, he's pretty good at joke rapping.
Oh, yeah.
He's pretty good at
I
that.
Nah, I like. I don't know. I want.
Your Rick is doodling at this point. That's how boring your shit is, Chris. Why do
What
you
do
keep
you know?
bombing on your own podcast?
What are you the worst at? Like, what's
You
something
know
that you
how
were
comedy
just...
comes from surprise? When
Sure.
you say this, there's no surprise.
Yeah,
You need to
there's
find
no
a
mystery.
surprise.
Oh, Rick roasted.
We all know you're not a good person. What do you think you're the worst at?
Yeah, what?
What am I the worst
Like,
at?
what is something you tried to do,
Comedy.
and you wanted to do, and you were like,
Podcasting.
oh, this is not working out.
English teaching. Sex.
Sex, dude. No. I don't know.
Okay, which of your dreams have you failed the hardest at so far?
What do I feel the
That
hardest?
you tried your hardest.
And failed. I guess archaeology, becoming like some kind of
Okay.
scholarly person. I guess I'm kind of like
You tried to be an academic for a
I'm an
minute.
academic for a hot minute there. I didn't really know this world existed.
Why
so
didn't you?
pre-comedy, I was like in grad school doing archaeology, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna take this like all the way, become like a professor and a doctor.
And then Indiana Jones. Come
Yeah,
on, let's
I was already there.
That's
I was
100% what he was trying to be.
Totally.
What made you give up?
I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't give a fuck anymore. Fuck all this shit.
What now? Something happened, like something changed.
Yeah, I
What made you
realized
think like that?
it was.
Nobody told me the shovels were going to be involved.
It's
Yeah,
hard-
oh wait, you gotta work.
Yeah, it's hard
No,
work.
I like the idea of like digging up some shit. That's cool, but it's also like I have to like write a book and like.
The other thing is you were studying it in Thailand.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I could have like gone to a school in England probably, or like done. I could have done whatever. They have ties with whatever the fuck I can get anywhere. Probably. If I was good enough, they would. If they were on my side, I could ask them to put me somewhere. You know what I mean? But also it was just like, yo, I don't. Who gives a shit about any of this really? Like, if I like it a lot, but it's more like a hobby, and it's like I could just. I want to go off and try to become a billionaire, or a millionaire, doing something else. And
Like
then,
this?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, like comedy or something. I'll go off and chase like a dream and I can circle back to this as a hobby that I'm good at. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like a fan.
Is being like, as an archaeologist, the best job of being an archaeologist probably is like treasure hunting, right?
Right, like I wanted to
Straight
be.
up
I wanted
treasure
to
hunter,
be a shirt.
Would that
I
be-
wanted
That's
to
what
be-
he thought it would be, and then
Yeah.
it turned out to not be like some Indiana Jones shit.
I wanted to do underwater archaeology. That was my.
Dude,
was my-
that is gangster.
Yeah,
Like,
that was my goal, and I had it actually. I was in grad school for a
He was
year,
learning how to swim.
and I was about to go.
but he's Thai, right? So he
I
can't
was doing
swim.
a program for underwater archaeology. So like they had a boat and they had like a program where you go and dig up some shipwreck or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was through my school, and they do it every summer. So summer's coming by, and I'm like, dude, I'm in the best shape of my life. There's like a hot chick that's kind of like that maybe I might bang. Like it was like, ooh,
Maybe,
it was
yeah.
an exciting time in life, right? And I was like fighting weight. I was like fucking cut, and getting ready to
You
take
look
my
good in a swimsuit.
right to look good in the swimsuit and fucking.
You know,
Dude,
it's
it's
archaeology.
archaeology,
Like
bitch.
an
It's archaeology,
archaeology.
man. What happened, bro? And it was. I remember we were testing for swimming. They had to like test our
Swimming?
swimming or whatever, like take time.
Yeah.
And we're swimming like the 40 meter. And I didn't have swim pants. I just had like regular basketball shorts. So I was swimming, bro.
So you dove in your shorts?
And she's the one with the clock, right?
Yeah.
And my ass cracked, dude. Like the pants got like full drag, and I'm like,
Yeah, you have no string on these
right,
basketball
dude. And
shorts.
like just my ass is like swimming.
You're wearing like
through my
and
ass.
one.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she's like, that guy's fucking
Yeah, definitely.
like a weird.
So that's when you quit
foreign guy.
archaeology?
No, what happened? No, here's what happened. So I did a physical. We had to do a piss test. We had to go to the hospital and get a physical and everything. And then
You passed that?
the day, passed everything.
What?
And I'm ready to do this thing. The boat's leaving, like in 2 weeks or something like that, right? So I'm getting ready, and then like the day before we get on the boat, I have like the craziest diarrhea, dude.
How did
And
that
I
go?
was like, it was just, dude, I was like sick. I was like really, really sick.
Yeah.
And I was just peeing on my butt.
Yeah.
So, like,
Shissing.
terrible, bro.
Piss out
And it
my
was like
ass.
hot. It was like hot. It felt like hot
I
soup.
like calling it the shiss. It's shit and piss.
I felt like I was shitting hot soup.
You know when you got diarrhea real bad? Hold up, though. Which is when you get a real bad, like Thailand level diarrhea,
Oh,
like
dude, this is the
food
worst.
poisoning diarrhea.
It had a weird taste in my mouth too. It was just the worst.
But then when you're just your shit is actually just pure water,
Yeah.
and it doesn't even really smell bad anymore.
Right,
And you're
just-
just like, come on,
Right.
this is enough.
Where's
Like
the-
I just want to fart out of my ass and piss out of my dick.
Right. Is that too much?
is that too much to ask?
Right.
Now, do you enjoy that moment where you finally?
Where you finally fart and there's no liquid that came out with it. Yeah, that's
But there's a little bit of a tension there because you're like, am I gonna piss or
Right.
fart right now?
yeah.
But I have to do it.
Mhm. So anyway, so carry on about your archaeology career.
Yeah.
So you're
Thank you,
pissed.
future wife.
You had diarrhea, so you didn't get on the boat.
So, dude, I'm like, and it was, I paid
So you
money
fuck
and
off.
everything. And I'm like, dude, I'm shitting, and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, my options are stay home, try to get better, and fucking next year, man, give it a shot. Or go on this boat and have diarrhea.
On the boat.
Have diarrhea on the boat for 2 weeks.
How do you know? Wait,
and
have you
for
ever
no
had
reason.
diarrhea for 2 weeks? Though?
Dude, it was so long. And yeah, I had a fever.
Like I said, I had diarrhea for 7 years once.
Yeah. 7 years ago until now.
Yeah. That's
It was
all.
shitty.
It's probably
It's like a
all
Peter
choice
Choice
in
in
eating, not
But it was also like I was also
My buddies, they'd be like, if all you consumed wasn't burritos and beer, maybe you wouldn't have diarrhea all the time.
yeah. You didn't eat like a fucking frat boy.
Chris's
Right,
diet
it was kind of
it was
my
all
fault.
chili
kind of- I wasn't
cheese fries and.
So you had
But I
diarrhea.
was, but
And
I was
Coca-Cola
Yeah.
and
Wait.
and cum.
So you gave up on your dreams?
No, but what
Oh,
happened?
his dreams changed.
at that point,
He
so I
said,
kind of
"I think you
I accepted. I took the L, and it's crazy, dude. It's crazy because like, bro, there was some smoking hot babes, and I feel like I would have had some more Thai friends. I don't have any Thai friends, but if I went, I feel like I would have got closer to some. Maybe I would have came out with a girlfriend or something like that at the time, which would have been crazy. My life could have went in a totally different direction, a different direction. I could have.
It's very
I could have ended up with a different tribe of people, basically. But what happened
So
was
now
I
you got
didn't
this.
go to that, right? And
Did you just drop out of class? Because that was part of a class, right?
yeah, well, here's what happened. Later on in the summer, there's a dig. So like that was like early summer, and then like later on in the summer, there's a dig, an excavation.
Sorry.
Mud? Why are you digging mud?
No, we're digging up this old temple in the UTI, right?
Okay.
And it's a school activity. It's like all the seniors are there, the juniors are there, and then so we live in a temple for a week, or maybe it's 2 weeks. Everyone lives in a little mosquito net in the fucking temple, and we were sleeping bags, and it's crazy. And
And you
like,
tell ghost stories.
bro, and it's weird because I'm like this fucking 26-year-old
Who's
white.
got
I'm like a
diarrhea?
26-year-old American dude, and like there's just a bunch of like 20-year-old Thai kids,
Perfect.
nerds, kind of like archaeology dudes. They like, and they were like, I was with the upperclassmen, so there's like 6 of us. There's not even, and like there's like 40 fucking juniors and seniors, and bro, there was some hot ass fucking chicks.
Of course there were.
Talking about what is the
Dude,
story about, Chris?
there's a
What
hot-
are you talking
But bro,
about?
it's crazy because like everyone's sleeping in the thing, so it's like I'm kind of like bro, I'm the older dude. Like I gotta get like I'm totally getting laid, like for sure. I'm totally getting laid
This
in
guy's
this,
at
in this
school.
temple.
This is
Right.
the archaeology. Yeah.
I'm like I'm
No,
so
see,
getting laid.
Lex-
Like,
You were
Lex-
like,
We're trying to figure out why he failed at last.
Lex's exasperation with you right now is so warranted. About a minute and a half ago, I looked at Lex and rolled my eyes. I'm like, where is this going?
You'll see,
I
you'll
know
see.
where finally it goes. It always
Well, it's
goes
not.
wherever Chris's head goes. He's like,
Bro,
yo, I
it's
could probably fuck some more.
Yeah, I think I could fuck something right now.
well, it's crazy. That like these
It's a
crazy
chip with a frog.
They had these showers. There was definitely some potential out there. in this
What do you mean
temple.
there were showers?
There was like so you had like a closed shower. It was like a gnarly ass temple where like it was in the middle of nowhere, and there was like snakes and shit. It was weird.
Did you get a
But,
whip?
But no, here's what happened. So we did this excavation and we dug up this temple and it was cool.
Do you know where you're going with this stuff?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
A big moment for me was there was a bunch of bricks that fell down and we unearthed it. And so it was like we unearthed like a pile of bricks that had fallen off.
Oh wow, what a
Right.
discovery!
And there was some kind of cement fixture thing, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, that's the handrail to the stairs," and I'm like, "Nah, that's part of the roof." I'm like, "That's part of the roof that fell," and everyone was like. They were like super defensive about that actually, and they like didn't want me to be right. They
But were you right?
Yes, I was 100% right, dude. And like, we took it all the way to like the head of the faculty basically, and she's like, "Oh, this is part of the roof," and I'm like, "See, I told you I'm the fucking sickest
They're
archaeologist."
like, get out!
I'm
Get
the
out!
sickest archaeologist.
And then you shat your pants.
Yeah, what was...
Well, anyways, that doesn't have to do with anything actually.
Oh, thank God.
What happened was we left the excavation, all right, and then we drive to the middle of somewhere in Patum Thani, which is a province, and it's like middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, okay.
And
Like a story.
2 hours outside the store, or outside the city, right? And we go to this weird empty building, right? And I'm like, cool, like what is this building? And they're like,
Lex looks like he's in pain right
and
now.
they're like, well, give me.
Waited for him to say it. There was
Go
a
ahead,
bunch of
go
hot
ahead.
chicks
Let him
there.
finish, let him
Yeah, I am.
And I almost fucked her. It's gonna be the end of the
I'm
story.
listening.
We get to this building and they're like, oh, this is the school next year. We're not learning at the at your school. This is our new school. And the school's moving here next year.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, really? No one told me actually that we moved. So now that commute's like 2 hours to get to school, and I have like a semester left, like two
So
semesters
it's
left.
a huge pain in the ass.
Right. So now it's a monster pain in the ass to get to school, and I tried it for like a couple months. I went to this school. I went to this fucking building to study archaeology, basically. All the seniors and juniors are there too. And it took 2 hours to get there. And I get there and it's like, dude, I don't even have friends. I'm just like a weird fucking foreign dude at this place.
You're getting a degree.
Right? Yeah, but
But he wasn't in it for that. He was in it.
I was here for fucking the hot juniors, dude.
Yeah.
So wait, so
bang hot 21-year-olds,
so you
bro.
gave up because of the commute,
Yeah,
and you had 3 months to go to finish.
I gave up because of the commute, yeah.
Why
But
wouldn't
I
you
just
just
think-
plow through?
Well, I knew. But here's the thing: it wasn't about almost being done. It was just about how much time do I have to really put into this.
That's your
And
foot,
at that
isn't it,
point,
Rick?
I was already doing. I already found comedy, so it's like, dude, I don't want to spend another minute of my life doing anything I don't want to do, basically. And I'm like, comedy is what I want to do, basically.
Look
forever.
at my eye.
He's actually
I'm
crying.
crying because that story was so bad. So
No.
bad.
Okay, no, but hey,
You asked.
So you're like Travis Barker of comedy.
You could have
When you
said I didn't go to school because they moved schools, and it would have been a 2-hour commute. But you went camping
Right.
for 5 minutes of that story.
Yeah. Well, fuck you. Have you ever been camping? You ever dug up? I'm sorry.
Fuck you, you ever been camping?
I'm sorry, how many ancient temples have you dug up, Lex? Fucking, let me sit here and listen to all the fucking, the cool artifacts and debates you won in archaeology. No.
Lex has
Dude,
And how many grad schools you've been to in a different
Yo, and how
language.
many junior archaeologists did you
And how many
bang? Maybe
archaeologists did you,
almost
how
in
many,
the
how many
shower?
archaeologists did you almost
How
bang in
many,
a
how many boners did you get?
Right, exactly.
Over Thai girls that were in the same
Fuck you.
program as you.
You ever date a girl and you just know you're not gonna fuck her?
Yeah.
That's
No.
exactly.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna.
He's
way too long.
What's the point?
Every girl he's ever described is like, yo, I think I'm gonna fuck
I'm
her.
fucking straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most
Most
of
girl
it
was
is
pretty
like,
hot. We were digging up this mummy and she was like pretty hot, you know.
There's this one chick, during the excavation, she was like a smoking hot junior.
But have you found any mummies?
No, man, it was just all like, I did
it was in Thailand.
Yeah, man. The coolest thing was like a dead person from the 2nd century AD.
I've seen dead people from like same day.
At funerals?
BC.
No, yeah, AD. Like so, it was like so he's like 2,000 years old, like a 2,000-year-old person. That I dug like fresh that we dug up. Like,
In Beijing. What
You're
kind
the
of
first person to see him
Yeah.
since he got put in the ground.
yeah, exactly. And they had like weird jewelry around the wrist.
Should have dug them up. That's kind of
Did you
rude.
get to keep?
Yeah, this is rude.
Did you
And
keep
the-
like a little bone that you put on a necklace just to?
Nah,
Freak
you
everybody out.
could keep like you could pocket like pottery shards maybe if like, this is cool. But it's all like it's real. Everything's really documented well. Like they take pictures and like they put on like a little measuring tape and a compass to figure out what direction it's. Everything is like up for interpretation.
My grandma
basically.
did something cool. My grandma
So,
found
it's cool, but it's also silly.
near Madrid doing research. Some like what do you call the spots where there's stuff to dig? Anyway,
A
like,
site.
Yeah, site. She found a site of like a Visigothic
Wow,
pottery.
Oh what?
Visigothic.
Yeah.
Are those the motherfuckers that sacked Rome?
Yes.
Over there? Yeah.
Very-
Yeah,
but there-
yeah.
but
So
there's
she
different.
found that.
There's different types though.
Yeah, and it was cool. Like I have a few pieces.
That's
Just
interesting.
like 1 or 2.
So the person that made that also fucking, used to live on your property or the property there.
No, it wasn't at home. It was like she did research. It was not far from where her father had.
But that whole area,
family business.
because they were
Yeah.
like the tribes that weren't Rome. So like there was Rome and they were like civilized, and then
Oh, and then just Rome just called everybody
but then
else
everyone else was.
Visigoths?
But no, the outside of Rome, you had all these different types of barbarians that were like
Right.
cousins of each other basically, and the ones that lived in Spain and France were like the Visigoths, and you had the Gauls in France, and you had like different types of tribes, like the Vandals and shit in Germany, and then the Vandals
They
actually
were called the
moved.
Vandals. That's
Dude, there was a
kinda
group called the Vandals, and they just kept moving, and they moved through France, and then they ended up
and
in
they were
Spain,
just spray painting.
and then they ended up in North Africa, and then they fucking ended up
Like
sacking.
skateboards.
yeah, thank you, Rick.
And then they sacked Rome, and they sacked
Um,
it harder.
So Chris, you're saying like you were digging up
So-
dead bodies.
Yeah, dude, there was like a grave.
Aren't you scared of like ghosts?
Nah, but Thai people are
But,
super
that-
spiritual.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't.
Yeah.
But you're Thai.
Well, I'm
scared of
right.
ghosts.
On paper, I'm Thai, but culturally, I grew up in America, so I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Wait, very American.
I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm afraid of them.
You know,
like,
Here's what I think about ghosts.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Can you hear what he just said?
I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm afraid of them. If you're
Yes.
afraid of them, then ipso facto, you believe.
Explain your non-logic.
I feel like ghosts exist for a bit after. So if you die, it's like you have. So
I kind of get it though.
it's almost like
Because I've been like okay, but like in Europe you'll often end up in a really old house,
Sure.
and those things are creepy. They're just creepy. Or like you're in the forest at the wrong time of day, and there's some like weird climate, and it's just creepy. And I'm getting afraid. I know there's nothing there. Like I know, like my scientific brain says there's no ghost here.
Yeah.
But my emotional brain is like I'm freaked out. There are some ghosts here right now.
You should be way more afraid of people that are alive.
No, I'm also afraid of people that are alive. I'm not less afraid.
Right.
I am.
Think about this. If you're dead, we are alive now, and we know that ghosts scare people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of asshole would you have to be to come back and haunt somebody? You see
That's
what
the
I'm
thing.
saying?
You could.
That's a
but,
massive dick move.
Dick move.
but I feel like you have that. I feel like when you die, let's say if you get done
Dick move to
dirty,
go haunting people.
if you get done dirty as fuck and you die, and there's like some
You got no
crazy-
pussy in life.
Right. And like, but here's the thing: you have like a window, so there's a small window where you can communicate and fuck with people, and then it slowly vanishes as you start living as a ghost.
As you go into the
you go into the next plane, and you kind of like you go to exist in a different plane, and then but it's almost like, why would you want to keep fucking around with this world? Almost.
It's revenge.
It's like, yo, you could go to, you have this whole new world to fuck with. Why are you gonna go back and fuck with
What
this?
Lex is saying, like, it is a dick move.
It's a dick move.
But so many people have died.
Hey.
Most of them just move on, but there's a
Yeah.
few dicks
Right,
that
yeah,
just go
there's-
around
that-
going.
I love the ones like there's a medium who'll come up and be like, I talked to your mom and she said you're gonna be fine.
Right. Well, that's
You know, like what is that bullshit move to be like? My mom knows that would fucking be crazy. Like my mom would never say that shit to me. She'd just go do her shit.
Yeah, she would just
Right,
go
she
do
would go
ghost
go.
shit.
Yeah, go. You know, like that kind of.
Right.
You don't have to go tell me I'll be fine.
Yeah, like that. But that's just the narcissism of
I just
people.
realized your mom died too. By the way, she said you're fucked. You're not okay. I am a medium.
Right.
Your mom
Yeah.
said you're fucked.
Yeah, dude, I don't believe in anything that's I can't
Spirit.
see or figure out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't believe in any of that shit. Obviously, there's stuff I don't understand.
You know what's crazy?
But I don't believe that any nonsense that people made up is some higher shit that, like,
I'll tell you this though. I had a weird thing.
Okay,
When I
that's
was in America, my grandpa died, and I had no idea he died. But I went to sleep. Right. I went to sleep and I had a dream about my grandpa. And my
Wet
Thai-
dream.
my Thai
It was a
grandpa.
wet dream.
It was a wet dream. It was a big
Your
wet
grandpa
one.
was fucking,
It was a
right?
wet one. It was my Thai grandpa, and I had a dream he was floating. He looked like a Thai fucking thing with
like a
The
Grasu, like
How
one
old
of
is
those
he?
Thai
Right.
ghosts.
20,
Rick,
17.
can I get a little
No.
swig of your Pepsi?
How old was I? Yeah, I was
Do
17.
you want the fresh one?
No, I was like 20. I was like 20.
Sure, but I'll just get up and get it.
It was like 20, dude. All right, don't fucking get up right now.
Okay.
I was like 20 years old, and I had a dream that my grandpa was a ghost, or not a ghost, but like a fucking angel guy, like floating in this, clouds. It was him in clouds, right? And then I wake up, and it was my mom on the phone, right? And she's calling me, and she's like, "Bye, hey Chris, Grandpa just died." And I'm like, "Whoa!" And it was just like goosebumps.
Well, I predicted that.
Yeah, it was crazy because it was like,
Because I was just floating as an angel dude, like
yo, I
fuck
just
you.
had a dream he was.
As he floats
Yeah,
up
he's
to
dead,
heaven.
but I just had a dream about him floating in the fucking, like the clouds or whatever the fuck. I'm like,
I wonder if also you maybe have these dreams of your grandfather floating around, but because he died that time, it's like that's the one you remember.
Right. Well, no, but he was. I remember like waking up and being like.
Yo, the other thing is your dreams.
Your dream
you
is
don't-
fresh in your head.
Yeah, but you don't actually remember what went down that
Sure.
clearly. You're piecing it together. All right, so like your prefrontal cortex is just like fire. No, hold on, I fucked this up. It's your like lizard brain, and all of your weird like instinct brain just like firing shit, and then your human need to like figure out
Yeah.
and make up a story.
Yeah,
It's like, I don't know the-
But it was.
Rick
But
Diez
that
some old like
that-
1600 bullshit England
Yeah,
house.
it's because like humans are pattern-seeking
You know,
creatures,
all
and so we have
Yeah,
it. Like when you're dreaming, you get all these weird instincts and shit popping up, and it's really just a bunch of nonsense. But because we're pattern seeking, we need to turn it into a story that's somehow coherent, and that's what you remember when you wake up. But that wasn't really anything like what it was.
Maybe. Yeah. But it really was. But it was.
Also,
that,
by the way,
like I could see what I tried.
What if you woke up while your mom is talking about your grandfather dying? So you're like your last things as you coming into that out of that ether is you subconsciously hearing that. And you're like, oh my, granddad's dead. You gotta run a morning.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Well, no, I heard it.
I don't know if that's true, but that makes more sense than you dreaming some shit than it happening.
Yeah,
and he should know about coming out of the ether.
No, but I had no, but dude, for real, I had like I can
don't
tell you
really get it though.
I can tell you, I had a dream last night, and I remember the overall theme was that I disappointed my grandma. That was the whole overall theme of my dream.
It's not a dream.
No, but that's
another wet dream. But it was so,
I'm like,
he came so quick.
I'm not.
I was like, that was quick.
I'm not necessarily a lucid dreamer, but I'm like, I can remember my dreams basically. I used to write down my dreams, so like I'm used to kind of like remembering.
Well, you still had some.
Yeah, but like, yeah, right. Mine still.
Yeah, I mean, this lucid dreaming thing.
No, I said I'm not really lucid, but
have you ever had that though, where you realize you're in a dream and then you can start kind of acting within that?
Yeah.
I never get very far. I always go like, oh shit, I'm dreaming. Oh, okay, touch the titty, and then I just.
I've kind of like made myself wake up before. I've done that. It's time to get up now. Or like something like I've had a dream where something really fucked up happened, and then I'm like, all right, I'm just out. I'm just going now.
But
I had something violent, like someone. I had a dream someone was stabbing me once, and I had to fucking. I'm like, I'm out of this.
Yeah. And
but didn't you ever
up.
wake up from a cool dream and be like, I'm gonna go back
I'm
into it? Is that done that
Game
much
over.
time?
I've tried, but I don't go back.
Yeah, you never go back. Yeah. I do want to. I've been thinking about learning to do because you could train yourself to do lucid dreaming because you do spend like 1/3 of your life sleeping. So I'm like, maybe I could get some shit done. You know,
right?
You know.
Well, Mitch Hedberg had such a great joke about this. He's like, sleeping is supposed to be relaxing. Like you're supposed to be resting. Now all of a sudden, I gotta build a go-kart with my ex-landlord.
Yeah. It's a good joke.
Dreams are weird.
These jokes are fun.
I've had fucked up like dream within dream situations, like
You accepted yourself?
yeah, it was self-deception.
Don't ever jinx me. Yeah.
I was in a.
14-year-old girls, Rick. I don't know what happens in Spain when you go stop siestaing.
You know, is there anything more boring than somebody telling you about their dream? It's like when you have a cool ass dream.
Yeah.
It's so you want to tell other people.
It's the same as a mushroom trip.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear your goddamn story.
Yeah.
Hey, I had this dream, but my grandpa dying. Okay.
Wow, that was you. He was talking about you.
But and what I did though, but I did. That was a dream. It was fucking. He looked like a Thai dude, and he was floating across the sky. And I remember my mom because I didn't even like tell her that.
Like
I didn't even tell my mom.
Promise you would never tell anyone I touched you.
But like I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell my mom that I had a dream about him. I was just like, oh fuck, that's crazy. Because like I remember hearing that and just goosebumps. Because I'm like, dude, maybe, I don't know, it's weird. It was his way of saying, yo, I'm peacing out, dude. Like, yo, see you.
Yo.
I'll fucking peace, bro.
Yo, Chris, I'm out. Peace.
Yo.
Drop some seeds.
I'm out, dude. That's what it kind of felt. And I feel like that's kind of why I feel like,
Yeah, how come he did it to you?
and like remember when Doug died?
Yeah.
So when Doug died and I flicked my cigarette butt and it landed straight up.
I wasn't
down,
there.
And it
Yeah.
landed.
Did you witness
It landed
this?
on the ground. I'm like,
yo, his
and
dart
Yeah.
landed
just
like
like
stand up.
Yeah, bro.
Was there anything behind it?
Nope. It was on the ground, just like this.
It was a perfect shot.
Swear to God.
That is
It
a
bounced-
good,
it
that is
bounced
a good
in
metaphor for Doug. Is a
Yeah, exactly.
A
I'm like,
finished
Doug,
cigarette.
give me a sign you're here, and like flick it, and then it's just a fucking.
You didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, it was amazing.
But you guys were talking.
But it was
about
like the
Doug.
day after Doug died. It was
Were
like,
you talking
Yeah,
about? It?
well, it was in and
Well,
out because I mean, both
around
of us
the time
really
he
did
was-
love Doug.
It was around the time of his funeral or wake. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, totally, maybe we just got back from something, but.
Hey, well, rest in peace to Doug.
Dude, the cigarette. I remember Brian's like, "Yo, there's Doug right there." Like, hey, what's up, Doug? That's such a
Yeah,
fucking.
but I we had a family member that
These are
died, and my
crazy.
mom was thinking about that person, and then when she was like trying to like send some like prayers and stuff, that the light flickered, and she was like, "Oh, this is a sign." And it's like, the light flickered.
It's way more likely than
that's it.
electricity.
And you got lucky with your cigarette. Like, what do you want me to tell you? Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
No,
it's
that is crazy.
Yeah.
But that's
But
not,
if I don't all
it's
the,
not done.
but if it's like if all the things that, let's say I'm a ghost, it's like, all right, I gotta prove that I'm one of these guys.
Yeah, why would you make
Oh,
this?
all right.
Why would you make Chris's
And I make
cigarettes?
my cigarette.
You wouldn't go talk to your daughter.
Right, exactly.
Or your,
I'm
or
gonna
your
go visit
widow.
Chris.
Or anything. You're just gonna make Chris's dart
My
stand
cigarette.
up.
I know I was dug in there. Dug in that cigarette.
I remember dating this girl, and we went to she had this. Her father had like a cottage or like an upstate house, right? They had some money, so they had a second house. They go up during the summertime and shit, and so we got to visit there, and we got just she was saying that the house has some kind of spirit, right? And it has this little angel doll that she's like, every time I come here, it's moved to a different place. And I'm like, that's probably your dad just moving
Cleaning,
it around when
yeah.
he's not here, you know? Not cleaning, like fucking with you.
Oh.
That's just your dad kind of fucking with you and stuff. She got so upset. She's like, no. And it's like, you know, like next time I see your dad, I'm like, why are you fucking with your kid? And he's like, oh, you saw the angel. Like the guy knows. It's like that's the most obvious shit is usually what it is.
Yeah.
It is.
No. And even shit that's inexplicable, it's just you don't understand.
You just don't get it.
Why would you jump to it's a fucking ghost?
But it's not. I don't think it's a ghost, but I feel like there's energy for sure. There's
But
like,
no, but that's what bugs me about any superstitious shit
It's
or
just
any
energy,
religious shit,
bro.
really. It's
These
like
orbs.
we don't get it.
We
That's
just
true.
want
There's
it.
tons
We
of
just
shit
want
that
it.
we don't get.
Like, have you ever been to a cemetery?
Sure.
Like so I went to this. It was like a mobster cemetery, basically from the third. Like they would throw dead bodies there, and like all the mafia would outside Chicago, like all the crime shit.
They don't usually bury them in
That's
the
where they would.
cemetery. Do that?
Or was it?
Don't they,
No,
don't
no,
they
they
throw them in the huts?
right.
or
It was a lake next to a cemetery.
Okay.
So they would throw bodies there. It was called Bachelor's Grove, and there's like a ghost of a woman there. And one time, me and my friends went there in high school, right? And it was like fucking 12 of us, bro. And we're in the cemetery, and this story's not going anywhere.
I was trying to look at you.
There's so
I was trying not to look at you.
the one big takeaway was my friend Nick. We took a picture of us in the cemetery, and Nick showed everyone his asshole. Nick spread his ass
In the
cheeks in the cemetery and mooned the camera. Showed him in the picture, right? And in his asshole, you don't see his asshole. You just see black. It's just the absence of light. It's just a black dot. There's no asshole. It's just dude. It was crazy.
Okay.
It was
That's the
insane.
inexplicable part.
There was a ghost in his asshole, bro. No, but I'm like, I felt like, it didn't feel like anything, but I felt like if I was there alone, I would have like, tried to, I don't know, felt it.
Yeah,
But,
like I'm not really with any kind of spooky shit.
if you're alone, then I feel
Right.
like that's when you kind of feel like it.
Yeah, but it
That's
is like, okay, so I don't believe in anything supernatural.
Right.
I'm sure there's shit I don't understand and there's an explanation for it, but it's not something anybody else said.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any fucking sense. You couldn't possibly know. So I don't know. But I still fucking, get scared sometimes when I'm home alone.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll put like the covers over my head and shit and be like, okay, well, they can't fuck with you if you don't move. Like,
You do that 4-year-old under the sheets that can't penetrate bed.
yeah,
comforter move?
well, I mean, I haven't done that
Dude,
recently.
you gotta grow up. This is what I do
Yeah.
now. When I'm scared at home alone, I get naked and start jerking off.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I know if anybody walks in on me, they'll be like, "Oh my god!" They get scared too,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Nice."
Yeah, but that's usually what I'm doing. But yes, no, good point.
Or you just jerk off under the covers.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine burglarizing something. And you
Oh,
just
dude.
turn the corner, the guy's like beating off. You know.
My biggest fear is
You're
like,
going in here with confidence.
Yeah, you still go. You still
I
go.
don't care. You're here. I was thinking 2 days ago about how, like in these movies like John Wick and like Nobody and stuff like that, all these like Russian like
Bad guys.
but yeah, like the lower level like security guard with the gun, like all those ones that like just like cannon fodder for John Wick. Like these guys have a life. Like what I want to know what their life is like. Do they have a family back home? What's their backstory? Like, did they have a cool day? And then they were like, and now my boss had to make John Wick angry, and I'm about to die. And I was supposed to go and babysit, or like, I want to know their backstory.
Yeah.
We never hear about that.
Responsibilities, they have a
And I think there's like a whole comedy behind that.
Dude, that would actually make a great movie.
I pitched the idea to a friend of mine as a movie.
Yeah. from the perspective of like
I want to hear
Evgeny,
about
the
that
henchman.
perspective.
Actually, we had there was a thing called like me and a friend had worked on a thing called Henchmen, and it was just like a series of that, just like henchmen having like it was just different bits, like it was recurring. So I mean, whatever you guys do, but it was like like one time a guy would switch jobs, like he got fired from being a henchman, so he had to go look for more henchmen work. And then another time it'd be like just the wife and wondering where the guy died, like that kind of. It's just like all the things that could happen to a henchman, like that was the kind of idea.
That's
just
brilliant.
fun.
If they made a movie that was just like the Lord of the Rings, but from only the orcs' point of view. That would be.
Perfect.
It's like, dude, like, what the fuck? They just show up and now they're bad and they fuck shit up. Like, what's their like? Hey, man.
Yeah, they come out of the mud, right?
They come out of the mud
and they have a motive.
Right, and like
At some point, they're baby orcs.
totally.
No,
They come out as men.
There's
They come out full
no
grown.
female orcs. I'm not sure about this, but I don't think they're all just like spawn of the Dark Lord. They're all just like corrupted elves, and they just get created
basically.
from the mud.
Dude, that's awesome.
But
They just came out of sludge.
but but that's because you're talking about the movie where they made the Uruk-hai. That's like mixing orcs with like the evil men. I think maybe there are orcs that.
But it
are
has to
born
be funny,
naturally.
this whole point of view of being like, hey, these are just some
Yeah,
puny white guys and some
Well,
guy
like,
with
they
a
got
huge hat and a
names.
beard, and we can't kick their asses right now? Like, what's going on?
Like, there's got to be one orc that's like, man, this fucking.
This blows.
This sucks. Like, can we stop walking
Yeah,
for a minute?
He's like orc artist.
Yeah.
He's just like painting. He's just painting, and he's like, "Leave me alone, mom."
I'm the artist orc. I'm the poet.
It's
I'm
gonna
the
be a
fucking
comedian
singer orc.
orc.
It's an orc on a motorcycle.
Right.
Like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah,
Well, you can't possibly be more metal than an orc.
Orcs are pretty fucking.
If you metal orc on a motorcycle,
You could be
telling
like-
you to fuck off.
it's like
pretty
double
fucking
metal, yeah.
Yeah, or like,
My thing with the orcs is what's their fucking end game? Like when the orcs
If they
kill,
won the war.
Yeah,
if
what-
they
what
won,
happens after, yeah.
if they take over all of Middle Earth and now it's just like brimstone and bullshit everywhere,
Yeah.
but they won, it's finished.
Well, that's their heaven.
So then what?
They
They're
like,
just
get
gonna
down,
barbecue
farmers, yeah.
and like
Well,
play
they get the-
volleyball
they
and
get
shit?
the-
Like what are they gonna do?
No women orc, right?
Yeah.
Like
That's butt fucking.
Like, well, now what do we do? Oh, let's start butt fucking. That's what they would do.
but do they have a sex?
Oh, they were.
They're all dudes.
They're all Australian
Okay,
too.
but-
They're all,
yeah, but I mean,
well, no, they're all like Cockney.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, since they have no, the reproduction system is that they just get spawned. Maybe they have no organs.
They have no cock.
Maybe they have no sex drive.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're just
So they
barbecuing
all
and
become
just
like
like chilling out.
They just play like volleyball sex.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
PS5.
Just
like-
barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows what they did? I don't know.
7 serving 6. Let's go.
There's the one orc that serves underhand. He's such a fag compared to the other cool orcs, like the Uruk-hai are all blocking.
Yeah, they all got a
Look at
personality.
this fucking bender serving underhand. Alright.
So they have a caste system between the Uruk-hai and the orcs.
Yeah, the Uruk-hai are just way doper than the orcs. Good job. And then there's goblins who are
I gotta be honest
I
with
don't
you, I don't
have
want to be in a
sleep.
conversation this long about orcs again.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know I fully participated and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yo, we got the nerds in the house got really animated about
but, yeah,
that.
man, you guys got served.
Yo, should we wrap this
The
up?
elves. Oh.
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you might have.
What about the elves?
Go, Chris.
I think the elves got it the best.
Yeah, dude.
For sure. I mean, for
Yeah,
sure.
they're the
got it.
most baller. They live.
You
They're
know,
all-
I
they're-
bet you elf
elf-
pussy is like fucking.
That's what I was gonna
I bet
say.
you elf pussy is like fucking
Real
butter. It's
pussy.
like I bet it's like fucking buttery,
Yeah, but it's tight though.
tight,
Because they're
wet,
skinny.
buttery elf pussy.
They're skinny and tall. It's like supermodel pussy.
Right, totally, bro.
But they're kind of bitchy though. They're really full of themselves.
Maybe if you're, but
You
you're
don't
Yo,
like
if you're, I mean, it might be better than a fucking dwarf.
if you're a guy, yeah. If you're a chick elf
wouldn't be the first time.
I don't think I have the stamina.
and dwarf chicks, there are other
They seem
dwarf
pretty
chicks.
strong.
Yeah, there's dwarf chicks.
They say they're hairier
But
than
they
men,
also
right?
have beards.
Yeah,
so
you don't, you
they're
never
hard
see
to tell
one though.
apart.
You never see
No,
one.
you don't see any chicks in Lord of the Rings.
Except for the elf.
Dude, like
Except for the
like,
elf
here's
bitches who are pretty
like
hot.
the trilogy, bro. Like
Yo,
that
I-
was the sickest. But then you came out with the Hobbit was like, this is so weak, and like everything else.
No, the Hobbit's pretty dope though.
Nah, I never thought that
The
was.
book
that was
wasn't
all.
bad, right?
The movies you're talking
I'm talking
about.
the movies.
No, the book was fucking
I never
phenomenal.
touched the books.
The problem with the movie is they try to
Wait,
turn
they
it
were-
into this
wait, they were
epic
books?
trilogy,
Yeah.
whereas the book is only fucking like 120 pages. It's a kid's book, so they were trying to. It was just a cash. It was just a cash grab. That's all
Like,
it was.
why would a dragon like hoard gold? And
That's
like,
what dragons do.
Yeah, that's what they do. They're just like
well, that's
big
just so.
fiery.
But that's just a waste of dragon life. You
Yeah.
know, like what?
Yeah, what are you doing so great?
If I'm a dragon, well, if I was a dragon, I'd be like,
Killing people.
well, I don't don't know.
Yeah, they do that and then steal their gold and then.
I think if you were dragging, you'd be doing exactly what you're doing.
You'd be doing a rock comedy
cool
podcast.
raps.
I
You'd
have a
be
shitty
making
podcast.
cool raps as a dragon.
Right.
You'll be.
Yeah, write a rap as a
video.
dragon.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No, not now.
Dude, when I was a kid, I read The Lord of the Rings, and you know, like Galadriel, like the elf
bitch.
lady, the only female elf other than Arwen.
Yeah, right.
I in my head, because in the book they describe her, or J.R.R. Tolkien describes her as like a really beautiful woman, and I was like 14 when I was reading this shit, so I just pictured her as Pamela Anderson, but like with elf ears.
Not too far off.
Were you
And then when the movie came out and it was like fucking what's her name?
The Rolling Stones daughter or whatever?
Yeah.
Aerosmith.
No, but that's Arwen though.
And with Thurman
Kate
looking
Blanchett.
at
No, it was fucking some
Kate
British.
Blanchett?
Kate Blanchett. I was like, it's supposed to be Pamela Anderson. I was mad.
Yeah.
I get it.
Because to me, that was like the hottest woman.
Like, how's everyone on Middle Earth?
No, they're all trying to get elf
But
pussy.
how come they're like, and how come no one takes shits? but how come no one's like, going to war? I feel like that's the number one thing that would go.
Yeah,
to
how
war.
come nobody ever goes take a shit?
Elf pussy, bro, because elf pussy gotta be so good.
That's
Elf
what
pussy's
we've
probably
got-
so good.
You said that's what you think that most things we've gone to war for.
His elf pussy.
No. I mean, Middle Earth.
Oh, Middle Earth. Right.
I mean, I think back in the day, like, I'm for sure certain pussy was a main motivating factor.
Well, it
for
still
a
is
lot.
to like jihadis and shit.
For sure. Well, no, I mean, like, but real, not like pussy promised you in death, like real,
Like actual
physical.
pussy that you could
Like, bro,
take.
like this part, like, let's go invade over here because the chicks here are so hot. Like,
Yeah.
they're hot.
Maybe that's what the orcs were doing.
Yeah, but these people are going to war to get women.
Yeah, and spoils the war. That's part
That's
of it.
part of the thing. That's part of like the lure.
Well, that's what's stupid about the Lord of the Rings is
That's
like,
why we invaded.
there's no
Vietnam.
end game. There's no reason to be doing any
That's
of
the
this shit.
real because fucking
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point. Like, why the whole ring situation seems to be completely independent from the war situation.
Right, but also like if you're just like
Whoa,
an
that's
average-
crazy. I never thought about that.
No, wasn't that the
Right?
No, wasn't it that like the war was still gonna happen, but if that like the dude got the war, then he got the ring, then he'd manifest himself and be able to rule. Like he'd be able to come back in physical form or some shit.
Right, so he like,
That doesn't even make sense.
It really doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't make any sense. What the fuck was the point of the whole ring?
You know what it
I
was even
never
more?
understood what the point of the ring was.
You know, like him writing that book was
Oh.
so impressive that then fucking C.L. Lewis went and wrote like the C.S. Lewis went and wrote like the Witch in the Wardrobe and that whole like Narnia bullshit.
Yeah.
Because he wanted like Christian orcs.
Well, like animals?
Well,
C.S. Lewis was
C.S.
the
Lewis
big
was
Jesus
big
dude.
Jesus dude.
Yeah, so he's like, let me make Jesus a lion and go, start fucking elves.
The
So
coolest thing about
Narnia makes more sense than the
It
Lord.
does, and that's
No.
Yeah, because it's some imaginary. But it's
Because
different
Jesus
because
is
it's a
real.
kid's book. So it's like you open the wardrobe and then you go to Narnia,
Yeah, like a lion Jesus, basically.
and then the lion is Jesus. Yeah,
Is it?
that's the metaphor.
Oh,
But Narnia was so like,
sorry.
No, it is.
it's just like a.
It is though.
Narnia's so gay, dude.
Yeah, it's super gay. Lord of the Rings is not gay.
Or Lord is so baller, but Narnia is so gay.
is gayer than.
I mean, Jackson Fauché,
Had a very good point about it.
he actually picked the right time to move back to California. We were all ribbing on him, like, what, you leaving Thailand now and going back
Totally.
to
Man, his
California?
timing is
That's
right.
stupid.
Right.
Now, I mean, I don't know. I haven't spoken to him in a bit, but I'm sure he's in a
Cal
much
was
better
always-
situation than we are.
Well, he's always been. He grew up in a vineyard.
Yeah,
It's like he's.
that's a pretty good head start.
Yeah.
Your parents run a successful ranch
Yeah.
Sounds
whose
fun.
side business is a winery.
Fun.
Oh, if I can't make it, I'll just have to stay home in a beautiful ranch.
Yeah.
Oh,
But he did have that whole bit.
Was,
Lord of the Rings is just a giant gay fantasy because there's no women.
And
And
the
like,
towers.
There's three
yeah.
chicks.
Yeah.
and the Eye of Sauron.
There's three chicks and they all kind of want to fuck Aragon.
Yeah.
Which
So,
is
but,
pretty
but
baller.
it's mainly you got the hobbits. They're like the little twinks. You
Right.
There's
got
female hobbits.
yeah, and some of them are actually pretty hot. I'm not gonna do Jackson's bit, but
Right.
like that one Rosie bitch.
But they're all like
That
little
Santa's
Irish.
fucking-
They're basically just Irish chicks. They're just short chicks with giant tits. That just like you get this white trash DNA that just keeps breeding these giant tits into existence.
Yeah. If there's one thing white
And that's
trash
all.
is good
That's
for.
like that's the priority of fucking reproducing is creating the chick with the fucking big tits
Yeah.
for hobbits and shit.
Absolutely. Oh, the liquid is clear.
Is that Mountain Dew?
It's
It's est.
That's gonna look weird on the
it's best yellow.
It's gonna look black on camera.
I'll think about that.
Do you remember when you were a
Let me have a
kid?
sip. Let me have that sip. I want to taste it.
And remember how they used to say Mountain Dew kills your sperm? And
Makes your balls small.
right,
All these things.
all kinds of shit.
Old
But,
wives'
It's
tales.
more candy-ish.
but you're like,
than Sprite.
but you're like 8 years old, and they're talking about Mountain Dew is gonna
Right?
kill your sperm.
It's like it.
You're right.
It's just it's Sprite, but with more candy. Like a little.
It is kind of candy.
My good. I
But
want
yeah,
you.
but so as an 8-year-old, you're going like, oh, I don't want to drink Mountain Dew. It's gonna kill my sperm.
Not your
but-
sperm.
but-
your,
I love Mountain
your
Dew.
dad's sperm. That
But as an adult,
As
an adult, I'm like,
you
yo,
are right now.
hey, listen, man, I don't need to wear a condom. I drink Mountain Dew.
I drink Mountain Dew.
Is that true? Mountain Dew kills sperm?
Well, that was the myth that they said.
Only if you pour it in your dick. How could something you eat kill your sperm? Those two
Mountain
body
Dew.
parts don't ever meet up. You know what I mean? Like the liquid in your body goes to your stomach and then it comes out of your pee hole.
Mountain Dew, Axe body spray, and Ford F-150.
Well, your cum is in your balls.
Yeah.
Are you?
But how come those
Who was
guys?
the one who we're talking about creepiness?
No, that
Said the creepiest guy ever. What was that?
No.
Me?
Yeah. No, just the way you said that because you
We're-
became
pretty
the
suspect.
creepiest.
Were you
I've
the
never
one
ever would have
talking to-
described you as creepy dude up until just now.
It all depends on how you look.
it does. It
Just
does.
totally, that's
So
100%
if
what
you
it is.
look good, you get to be creepy, and then it's not creepy.
No, it's
But
just-
what I'm saying is, as a dude, you kind of have a responsibility to read the situation and know
Yeah.
where the line is. And if she's creeped out, you need to back the fuck off.
Well, girls need to also just relax because, like, I'm
Yeah.
not.
But-
I'm not trying to fuck every chick that I
Yeah,
see.
wait a
Aren't
minute.
you?
Wait a minute, Chris.
Okay, maybe, but
Do you remember that hot Chinese girl that came to the Raw show?
Sure,
And then like there's 14 dudes
that was
Around
just
her.
like trying to spit game
I
to
was
this
about to
one
talk
hot
about it.
Chinese.
That was the worst day.
Uh,
That was terrible.
The reason I brought this up though is like, yes, as a dude, you do have some responsibility to not be creepy.
Yes.
Well,
What?
that's where you get sunglasses. That's why the sunglasses work.
Right. Snorkels and shit.
Right.
So, but yeah, what I'm saying though is, when you're not being creepy, and some chick thinks that you're hitting on her, isn't that the most infuriating fucking thing?
Sure.
Where you're just like, okay, so there's one thing that sticks out in my memory. I was in line to go to a club back home with my buddy and his girlfriend and some of her friends, and we just ended up in line together. And I'm next to her, and I'm just like, I don't care. She's okay, but I'm just like, so how do you know Melissa? And then she's kind of like, like stop. And I'm like, I'm not hitting on you.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I would fuck you, but that's immaterial to this. This is not what's going on right now.
Yeah. Well, I feel like
I've been in similar situations.
Okay, Chris, how could you?
But the girl never realized I was hitting on her.
Right, because she's doing it so subtly.
You're so bad.
Like, it's just so shy, and just like, and it's just like,
Just get into the.
yeah, just like nothing. It's just the opposite.
She's wanting you to be creepy. And,
no, she's not either.
No,
Like,
no.
but she's not even getting it that it's happening.
But dude, it's such a weird like going from like, because I used to get zero pussy, and then I went to get.
Now you get one.
Now I get one. Before I got a ton.
Yeah.
Went from none to a ton, and then
That was
to
still one,
The
but she
one,
was
right?
really good.
What a ton.
Yeah, she
She
weighed
weighed
a ton.
she weighed 2,000 pounds. But it's like it was kind of a weird. It was like a maybe some kind of like a maturation. Is that a word?
Maturation, but
Where you mature,
Yes.
right? And it's like you just stop kind of caring if you lose, and you just go in and you.
yeah, well, that's the breakthrough that happens when
Right.
you go from like a guy that can't get laid
Like-
to a guy that can. Is you realize,
Like-
oh, I just need to not give a fuck.
Right, like the worst comes to worst, you're in
ABC always be closing. You're trying.
Right,
You're
exactly.
trying to
All,
make
no,
it
like the
And
worst,
then-
worst
and
of
then
the
you're-
worst, you're
you're-
at home
yeah.
jerking off at night, and that's if you try and fail, or if you don't even do it at all, you're still jerking off at
Right.
at home. Just
But
not,
then you
not
just
getting
try
pussy.
and you get shut down. But the thing is, when you get shut down, that's when you gotta bail.
Yeah.
That's when you gotta bail. Because some dudes get shut down, or they don't even realize that they got shut down.
Yeah.
Especially when they're old and gross and shit. And it's like, I realize that now. I'm getting old and gross.
Totally.
Where like, I'll creep on girls, like I'll just like check them out, and then they lock eyes with me. And
It's
back in
not-
the day, they would be like, ooh,
It's not-
and
it's
I would be
not
like,
welcome.
oh, there's an opening. But now they're like, oh, you got a kind of double chin and you're bald, and I get that like kind of look, and I go, oh okay, shit, sorry, I'll back off.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No.
Unless you're into that.
No, because you always.
I only know one of the scenarios.
But dude, just like
I don't know.
think-
Last time I really got rejected, I remember I was teaching these kids.
Dude, I remember one time on Khao-san, I was tripping on acid. I don't know what day it was, but it was like a party day. It was like maybe it was Halloween, and there was this girl, and she was fucking smoked. She was maybe the same age as me, but she was smoking hot. She was like perfect, like she looked perfect, and she was on the other side of this barricade, right? But she was like right there next to me, on the other side. And I saw her, and I was tripping on acid, and I'm like, dude, if you just walk up to her and just like, you know, just be confident and introduce yourself.
You know what's fucked up is I've heard this story
You got
before.
it. You got it in. And I went and I'm like, you know, fuck it, I'm doing it. And I just, worst comes to worst, I look like an idiot, right? So I go around, I make my way through this crowd of people. It takes like 2 minutes. I go all around, and she can see me go. She can see me move.
Yeah. She
And
spotted
like,
you from a
and
mile
there's like a
away.
there's a bunch of chairs, and I'm like
walking around like a guy on acid.
and I'm like moving chairs. I'm like
He's like
moving
swimming
chairs.
through chairs.
I'm moving chairs to go through this. I'm moving chairs to get to her, and like she sees me try to get to her for like 20 seconds, and it's so like I look back, it's like, oh, what are you thinking? And like I finally reach her, and I'm like, hey, what's up? My name's Chris. Nice to meet you. You know, it's like all that for this little shitty like.
That was
and
your,
she's
that
like,
was your line?
She's like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm like, okay. I'm like, can I get you a drink? She's like, no, I'm okay. And I'm like, she's like, no, thanks, no.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you should just go. She's like, yo, you get out of here.
And then you did? And then you
And
swam
I'm like-
back through the chairs?
She's like, yeah, listen, I'm trying to party with my friends. Let's, why don't you go? And I'm like, I'm on acid. I'm like, yo, like,
Okay.
okay.
See,
I was
good
like,
man.
cool.
You
I was like,
knew
cool.
you got rejected.
I'm like, cool. Well, I'll see you later. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Dude, I miss crowds.
But then like I had to go back through, and I remember there was like a dude. It was like some expat dude sitting there, was like what are you like, bro? You fucking what are you doing?
Ooh,
dude?
the self-esteem.
What are you
hit.
doing,
Dude,
But
I miss
was
that
like, man,
so much though.
If you had the balls, right?
Like, I miss flyering on Khao San Road
Mm-hmm.
and people treating you like shit because they're like,
Yeah,
hey, we got a comedy show. It's like,
You're a comedian.
Go
Show me
fuck
something funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't miss
Yo, I'll tell you a joke. And then,
your life.
yeah.
And while they tell you that joke, you see 4 potential people that might be interested if this guy's talking to you.
Man, I just miss crowds of people.
Yeah, it was fun. It's just fun. I feel like I don't even know how to act around
People.
Yeah, totally.
The biggest, like, the closest I get to an audience is if I have to ride the BTS, which I haven't done in weeks.
Yeah,
It's pretty
get
empty.
to be in front of
Yeah, and even then the BTS is fucking empty.
I mean, it's nice to sit down though. I'd say.
It is, that is
It's
nice.
weird. I feel like everyone's getting a little bit weirder. You know what I mean?
This is this
Like,
is the
it's-
only
and that's
socializing
generally.
with people other than Fa that I've done.
Right.
This is the
all
most
week.
I've had a conversation besides one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's
It must be fucking with us.
Maybe that's why we're talking over each other so much. Just so
Maybe.
excited to
Wow,
talk to
we were always doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I think that's a kind of nice bookend though. We started with this and we're ending with this.
I feel like here's what you're talking about the creepy thing. Do you think there's ever like an end to it? Like, do you think we'll ever get enough?
You get creepier
right?
because
But
you get worse looking.
right, but think about this. Imagine there's a guy that gets enough pussy where he's satisfied,
Yeah.
and he doesn't need to creep on young chicks. when he's older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then the other
You know
thing
what I
is
mean?
like
You met those people. That's a normal dude. That's a
Right.
dude who's self-aware.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the truth. I think that's the truth of it too. Is like it's weird, right? But I think as we get older, right, there is you forget because I'm like, I think I got 10 years on you guys, right? And Rick too, right? So we're old, but you still think of yourself as the same. You have because you have the memories of you being a kid, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you don't really grow up per se, except that you have different. Like I remember talking to one of my friends who said, I was like, he had like 3 kids, and I'm like, when do you feel like an adult? He's like, the only time is when I'm disciplining my kids.
Yeah.
You know, now I don't have kids, so I have no. That's I feel
Right,
like
no
I'm a
frame of
idiot.
reference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now think about some of the guys who we know who are cool, who come to the show, right? They don't realize that they are too old.
Sure. Yeah, but
Too old.
no, but what I'm saying, you should have a self-awareness where I'm not saying it's wrong to give it a shot, even like just a simple just opening, just like here's a serve. let's see if she hits it back to me, kind of thing.
I think
And then you should be able to read her, and then oh, she's not comfortable with this. Okay, I bail.
Yeah.
Or you transition to something else, and then you're not creepy. That being said, though, there's nothing I appreciate more. Well, I mean, I appreciate a woman who's down to fuck me more than this, but if I'm hitting on a girl and she shuts me down hard and clean, and then you're like, oh shit, sorry.
That's more polite than being, oh, thank you, any of that other stuff. Yeah,
totally.
Because they think they're being nice.
Like I've had this from smoking hot girls. Like I try, and then they just kind of go like, I'm not interested. But what's up with you? How you doing? Kind of thing. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And
that's
yeah,
great.
so anyway, and then you can just like as a human being.
Yeah.
But the creep won't.
Right, and that's the shitty thing.
Yeah.
But we have no control over
that. But the
that.
creep is also like weird. Like he's also uncomfortable around the chick. Like he asks weird, uncomfortable questions. Maybe.
Can we all be honest too?
You know
like
we've
we've probably
all been creepy dudes.
Yeah.
Sure. No one's
without
ever
knowing.
been.
Yeah. Especially
but without knowing it. But
some more than others or something like that. Yeah. Like I remember I used to hit on girls by being like, "What do you think this is?" You know, that was a horrible.
You were that guy.
That's not that great of a line.
That's a terrible movie.
Bail. If it's not working, you bail.
Yeah.
But you're allowed to try it. That's the other thing. So I don't know, man. Like I'm not a woman, so it must be.
It's just about.
It must be.
It's 100%. It comes down to what you look like, and no matter how bad or good your game is, if the girl likes the way you look, then she'll give you a shot.
No, but even if you can overcome that with good game, but you need to know when she's not interested.
Right. No, but I'm even saying if you look good, you don't even need game.
Oh yeah,
you
sure.
can just like
you
don't
just go in
say
there.
the dumbest shit and get pussy somehow.
Yeah, well they'll let you know.
And I hate that. That's the worst.
Yeah, no, I think it's great.
For me, it's like I have to craft whatever I lack in physical. I have to fucking make up for it in game and like charm. You know what I mean? All of us basically.
Yeah, nobody here is a prize. Nobody at this table.
Well, speak for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy's a fucking conquistador.
Yes.
This guy's got
It's a bloodthirsty guy.
He's slaying. Hopefully, the women would be able to recognize that if there's a situation that even like. The guys who take advantage of women are usually the ones who also are taking advantage of this situation that women don't actually vocalize their problems. You know, that they'll just keep it like they think it's just going to go away.
Right.
So hopefully, maybe anybody who listens or you guys as Raw make it like more available to women to feel safer.
Yeah.
There, but if they're in that, I also want to say is it would be nice if the women also recognize that like. This is part of your deal as being a woman.
Yeah.
You don't have to go hit on men.
Right.
You don't have to have
we have to hit on you.
And so it's going to happen. So like Dave Chappelle had that joke. It's like it's not a smart bomb. Like cleavage isn't a smart bomb. It's like going to knock out. You know what I'm saying? Like you show off some cleavage, and I don't want to put the onus on the women, but it is like just recognize that situation that these guys come off as creeps to you, but they're slaying pussy that's 30 years older than you or something, you know?
Maybe.
What? Like, I'm just saying, like, some of the, if it's like older guys hitting on them, or maybe the young guys who are, awkward, but they're not trying to be creepy, that's just, don't like their vibe.
But what I'm saying is, there's a certain point where they are trying to be creepy.
Yeah, well, I don't know if
they're trying, or they're just
completely inobvious.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's one or the other. It's like there has to be a little bit of us. There's
gotta
us
be a
looking
give and
out
take.
for it.
Yeah.
But the women have to be able to go find a safe space, like say.
Yeah. Well, I think there should be some kind of like this is weird to do on a podcast, but there should be some kind of recourse where they come to Chris or myself or either of you guys and be like, "Yo, this is becoming a problem.
Yes.
You go fucking say something."
Yes, exactly.
And me going up to some open micer and being like, "Listen, dude." Your behavior is kind of fucked up, and you're not funny.
Right. Yeah.
So, like if you were funny, I would probably excuse some of this shit. No, I'm kidding.
Is that why I keep getting away with it?
yeah.
Just like,
no, but you know what I mean, though. If there was some kind of formal like warning,
I feel like the funny guys are so self-aware that they're not doing that shit.
Right, exactly.
It's the guys that bomb.
They're oblivious. They have no idea that how they are in a setting.
Are we wrong? Rick,
no, what I mean is you can bomb but not be a creep.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
Yeah, we're not saying all people that bomb are also creepy.
No, but okay, but that's
people killing aren't usually creepy. Do you know killers who are creeps?
No, because they're focused on their comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
They have other shit to do than just hang around like just doing nothing. Like
You want to rap? Yeah. I feel like we got more fucking
yeah, well, we've
steam in the creep tank here, dude. Fucking
that was a good topic, though.
Interesting. All right. Well, listen. All good things must come to an end. So with that, we're gonna bid you guys Farewell. Yeah, have a nice night from Bangkok. Signing out. Thanks for watching.
Stay creepy.
See you next time.